We are heading down to one of my favorite spots to shoot at night. I've shot here a couple times before. Cardiff by the Sea in San Diego, and the tide is super high right now, so we have a little concept we're gonna try out, but wanted to tag you guys along for the ride. All right, so the idea here is to place a surfer right in front of that lifeguard tower, and we'll use a long lens, probably a 70 to 200. We have our surfboard right here with no fins in it. So I'm gonna throw some trunks on, get in the water, and I'll use the waterproof Lume Cube 2.0 to kind of backlight myself. And then Austin is gonna absolutely be crushing the pics from over here in the parking lot.
Calling it the high tide telephoto takeover, baby.
Hey! All right, so you look so short.
Not that short,
hey. Bro. All right, so a thing to keep in mind here that I've made a big mistake in the past is we're gonna be very far away from each other. Like, I'm gonna be way over there by the lifeguard tower. So something that I've failed miserably in the past is communication, you know, especially for long exposures where it's like, all right, I'm shooting, stay still for 10, 30 seconds, and the subject doesn't really know what's going on, and then the slightest movement can totally ruin a shot. I'm gonna have my AirPods in, but leave my phone on the beach so we can have a little bit of communication going. And I think that should solve a lot of the miscommunication with long exposures. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so it's fully dark now. We're taking a couple test shots just to like check exposure, check composition before I fully get in the water and put a wetsuit on. All right, so here's a quick test shot. So we have the lifeguard tower on the right. I will be hanging out on the left, probably like right around there, and getting out of the water with a surfboard. So I'm gonna backlight myself. Then I'm also gonna hit a little light onto the lifeguard tower itself. So that should be the composition for our landscape shot. All right, that did not go as planned, but anytime you're shooting nature, waves, mountains, it never really does. The tide was coming up very fast. I knew the tide was coming up, but it came up way faster than I thought.
I literally was sitting here and I could see everything that Trevor was doing on the camera, and we had our AirPods in, and I almost called him to come back.
And so where I thought I'd be able to stand, it was actually like chest deep in water, and it was moving me around too much to be able to do a good long exposure. So what we ended up doing was I just went up onto the lifeguard tower with my board. The intended shot didn't really go as planned, but it always kind of happens when you're shooting the ocean or some natural elements. So I'm actually pretty stoked with the shots that we got, so check them out. All right, Cardiff, we will be back on low tide.
Lower tides, bigger strides. Let's go, man.
See you on low tide. Later.
Low tide.